Is this real life? The Padres are 13-3. I have a delay when this thing starts. You need to help me get to the bottom of that. The Padres are 13-3, which is the best record in baseball. Their last home loss wasn't even this year. They're 10-0.
In 2024.
Michael King had never gone 8 innings in an outing, let alone a complete game shutout, which is what he had here today. The Rockies scored the same amount of runs this weekend as Jim and I did, which is none. Because they didn't score for 3 consecutive games. That's the first time in Padres franchise history. They did not allow a run in a 3-game series or longer, and the vibes are good. We are 1/10 of the way through the season. We are at the 10% mark, and the Padres are on pace to win 130 games, which would be a nice regular season, I think, if they can cap that off. John and Jim with you on the wrap-up show. Subscribe. Year-round content for you. We're here for great days like today, so please subscribe. Year-round content for you. Smash the like button for us. Follow us on X. At John Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD. We need hundreds of likes on this video here tonight. How many do we need, Jim?
350.
350 likes. If you want to support the channel, click the $ below the chat box. We'll get to every single super chat. We appreciate your support of the channel. If you want to see your comment on screen, if you want to control the direction of the conversation, click the $ below the chat box. If you want to become a member, I mentioned we have 3 new emojis for members. Click the join button down below. One of them is Extend Him, which applies to Michael King after today. Another is Action Jackson for Jackson Merrill, who's on the IL, but whatever. And the other one is Grit Squad, which wasn't necessarily prevalent this weekend because they utterly dominated the Rockies. And you know how I know they never trailed? Because the Rockies didn't score a run. So you were there today, keenly watching while eating banana bread pudding from a suite during the Masters. And the Padres are 13-3, Jim. That's pretty good.
Is that good?
That's good.
It's very good. Quickly, shout out to Molly. Molly hooked us up today in the suite, our good friend.
Yeah, I don't think she's watching.
No, well, maybe she is. You don't know that. So I wanted to say thank you to her. Banana bread pudding stays undefeated, like literally stays undefeated this year, along with the Padres. It's so funny. I had somebody in my mentions write this to me. Now, it's just one person. Okay, it's not everybody. I get it. But this person wrote this. They wrote, let me pull it up here. I said, extend King right now. We say that a lot. All right. King was brilliant today. Pitched a shutout. Was amazing. Completed the sweep. Gave up 1 hit or 2 hits, I guess. No stress all day long. Fantastic outing. And this person replies, maybe if that was a performance against a good team. I go, wait, are you mad about this? They reply, I have no reason to be mad. I've been a Padre fan for the last 25 years. Just not overly impressed because it was against a team with the worst record. We have reached the point, John, where some people, a small minority, but there are people out there that are not satisfied with the Padres beating the lowly Rockies, and not only beating them, never trailing to them in an entire series, and then sweeping them and maintaining the best record in baseball at 13-3. We have some people out there that are not satisfied with that. And
yeah, but we've reached? You know what we've actually reached that you just reminded me? We've reached the point of the season on April 13th, a week before Easter, where if the Padres don't reach a National League Championship Series or further, it's going to be incredibly disappointing. Like, that's where I think we are on April 13th.
Really?
At 13, I do. Like, let's fast forward. They start 13-3.
Mm-hmm.
They go, tell me if this is acceptable, Padres fans. Put it in the chat. Tell me if this is acceptable. Jim, I want to hear from you. 87-75, which is a playoff. They make the playoffs. 88 or whatever. 87-75, 88-74. They make the postseason. 88-74. They don't win the division. They win a wild card series. They lose to someone in the DS.
Okay.
Is that a disappointing season?
Well, you have to John, you have to wait till the season plays out.
That's not making the NLCS, is it not?
No, it's not. I'm
now at 13-3, is there a scenario where Padres fans at 13-3 would take anything less than the National League Championship Series?
Look, there are a lot of things that could happen, John. A lot of things.
That's the point from your tweeter. But haven't we reached the point where from here it's kind of either like the expectations are going to be through the roof, or you're going to have whatever losers that are like, well, they haven't beaten anyone. But I'm saying, aren't it's either going to be one way or the other, that everyone's going to think they're going to win the World Series, or they're either going to win the World Series or it's not good enough. They haven't done anything until they beat the Dodgers in the postseason. So none of it matters until they beat the Dodgers in the postseason.
You can have both. You can have the high expectations for sure. And I think it's justified with the more they win. But you can also enjoy what's happening in front of your eyes in real time. Can you not?
You can. No, I mean, that's kind of my point. I'm saying they're 13-3. Like, you can't. We got to see how the next 90% of the season plays out. I'm just telling you that the position of a lot of people, I think a lot of people are watching this and they're now making some assumptions that are hard to make off 10% of a season. The assumption being that
some are, not everybody.
This is as good of a Padres team as there's ever been. This is the team to win the division. This is a team to make a World Series. That's just my point. But I'm making your point. I'm saying people, I think, are jumping to the end of the process where I'm like, this thing has got a long way to play out. And I wouldn't say a 90-win season is disappointing, but off a 13-3 start, I think some people might say, how did they not win this division? They were 13-3 and 10-0 at home.
Yeah, and we'll obviously see how the rest of the season plays out. Like, what if everyone gets injured? Then
they already are.
you know, there you are. It's like, oh man, such a disappointing year. It's like, well, everyone got hurt, or whatever the case may be. I think, you know, you can live in a world where you have high expectations and you can also enjoy what's happening right in front of your eyes and in real time and be happy with the fact that they're 13-3. They just swept the Rockies. They're undefeated at home and they have banana bread pudding at Petco Park. Like, you can be happy with all of that. And I am, you know, I'm not going to sit here and be like, you know, that one fan be like, yeah, it's just one fan. I'm singling this person out, and it's not the majority. It's not even the majority opinion. It's just maybe like one couple people, whatever, handful. I don't know. It's just, I saw that today. I'm like, man, are we really here? Are we really at this point where everyone feels so good about this team? And it's like, they beat the Rockies, whatever. They were under 500 against the Rockies the last however many years. And to sweep them this way they sweep them this series, I mean, this thing wasn't even close. Now, yesterday was they won 2-0. Friday night,
they won 8-0.
They won 8-0, but like 5 innings in that game. I mean, the game went by quick after 5, and then they burst it open with that 6th spot there in the bottom of the 5th. And today was just right off the bat, you're just like, okay, this one's over.
Well, how can you? But I mean, I guess to your point though, like, you're either going to be skeptical of the Padres because you're going to be skeptical of the Padres and say, oh, they're 13-3, but the schedule. And I would push back and be like, what do you mean? What schedule? They've played as good of a schedule as anyone. So what? So they've beaten the Rockies and the A's. They've also beaten the Braves and the Cubs and the Guardians. So there's either going to be people that are not going to be a believer until they see it with their own 2 eyes in the postseason, then go all the way. So there's going to be that. And then there's going to be the other side of the coin, I believe, which is people are believing that this team is a team that is going to prove all the doubters wrong. And this team's different. This isn't 2022. This isn't 2024. And then there's the in-between, I think, which you and I are going to basically discuss over the next 6 months, which is maybe they're not the 13-3 team. I mean, no team plays 13-3 baseball over a season. Maybe they're not the team that, oh, it's just the lowly Rockies. Who cares? Once they get there again, they're going to lose to the Dodgers. Maybe they're just in between. Is my overall point. And to your point, like, you kind of have to ride it out. That's my takeaway. I mean, you can't be more dominant than they've been, especially this weekend. This is utter dominance. This is an embarrassment of riches this weekend. To not allow a run to any team in the major leagues over a 3-game series is unheard of. There's no team that's done it since 2017 in baseball. No team had done that in baseball since 2017. It's happened like 6 times in the last like 50 years, something like that. So, I mean, this is, and I saw like Ben Fadden, I don't know if you're here talking Friars, he's like, this is what great teams do to bad teams. Like, no, they don't. Nobody does this. Nobody shuts out an opponent 3 straight days. World Series champions don't shut out opponents 3 straight days. It's just a dominant effort is what it was this weekend.
Right. This was next level. Like, yeah, good teams take care of business and they beat
Sure.
bad teams. And the Rockies are a awful
100%.
team. But the way that this series went,
Yeah, exactly.
like, wasn't even close. And by close, I mean from like here to like Mars. I mean, that's the size gap between the Padres and the Rockies organization right now.
Mhm.
And that is just, it's incredible. If you're a Padres fan, you got to be through the roof right now. And I guess what I'm trying to do is say, look, there is potential here for a special year with this start. Would you agree with that?
There's, of course, potential. Of course, there's the
So,
potential.
so with that being said, I think because, you look at the history of the Padres, not many years you could say, man, that was a freaking awesome special year. You could probably count on maybe, one hand how many great seasons the Padres had in franchise history, like
Mhm.
great seasons. Okay. So with that being said, and the more you see them play here early on, the more you start to think, wow, this season could be special. I think what I'm telling fans is to maybe try to slow it down and enjoy what is happening in real time as much as you possibly can. And yes, the expectations are there, and we will when we get there. Oh, don't worry. We'll talk about them, and they're there. And the more they keep winning, the higher the expectations go, for sure. But also, going to the ballpark today, and the vibe just felt from the first pitch of the game. I was like, "There's no chance the Rockies are winning this game," and you can't say that about many Padres teams facing anybody, where it's like you go to the ballpark, like first pitch, Michael King, quick ass first inning. They put up a 4 spot in the bottom of the first, and you're like, yeah, this is going to be a easy breezy day, not really much to worry about. So let's just have fun at the ballpark and see how many runs the Padres could put on the board. And at one point in time, you look up at the 5th inning, I think it was, and it's like, okay, Michael King has thrown like 40 pitches, no hits. Rockies are awful. Could this be one of those days? Now, it didn't turn
Yeah,
out that way, but
I
still,
thought it.
I thought it.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of things. That's kind of my point. I think at 13-3, you're gonna begin to see people think that this is like the '98 Padres,
For sure.
right? Like, that's just my point, but and maybe they will be.
Mhm.
Maybe they'll be better, maybe they'll be worse, right? We don't know, that's the
Like,
thing.
nobody saw
Just
this start, by the way.
No,
Nobody.
that's what I'm saying. I'm saying now on April 13th. I mean, we're agreeing. We're just saying different things, different ways.
Right. Yeah.
I'm just saying on April 13th, Jim, I'm telling you right now, because I know how fandom works, that if this season doesn't go the way that we're all hoping it goes, there will be a level of disappointment. I promise you of that. If this season does not go, I'm not saying it has to go 13-3 the whole way. It's not going to. But I'm telling you right now, if they go 88-74 and lose in the wild card round, this is going to be seen as a huge disappointment. I'm just
So,
telling you that right now.
all right, then counterpoint to that, and I agree. If they continue to play, not this high clip, but you know what I mean. They continue to play this well. What if they lose 10 in a row here? Then they're
Oh, that
13 and
wouldn't be
13.
good.
No, I know, but then they're 13-13 with like 5 months to play. Are you still going to have those same thoughts of like
That's fair.
NLCS or bust?
No, it's fair. That's a fair point.
If
I
they
don't think
are
you or
like
I forecast that.
right, because if they jump out to like say they're like 70-45, I'm just throwing a crazy number
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah.
That is when I would say, yeah, they don't make the NLCS. That's a massive
Well, I
disappointment.
think it's 7. Honestly, Jim, it's 70-45. Let's say they were, just hear me out. We're a long way from 70-45, but let's just go down this path. Let's say they were 70-45 and 5 games up in the division. Just hear me out.
It's only 5.
Well, I don't think they'd be much more than that, because then 5 games would be 65-50. Are the Dodgers going to be that much worse than 65-50?
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean? So let's just say they're 5 games up. At that point, what do you have to do? I think you probably have to get to a World Series in a fan's
Yeah.
eyes. If you're
You're
5 games up in the NL West and 25 games over 500 and pacing for 99 plus wins, I think at that point you probably have to get to a World Series. Again, we're a long way from that, and there will be twists and turns, and there already have been. with the injuries. But again, I love the idea of letting your mind wander. What's funny to me, Jim, is from the fan perspective is I see these two different paths. They've only beaten the Rockies. This is the same old Padres. No. And then the other path that this team has to win the World Series. They're 13-3. No. It's 10% of a season. There could be a medium like in between there.
I do think that you have to see the season play out more than just 16 games.
No doubt.
For sure. Because like I said, they could lose 10 in a row here. You're 13-13. And then like the thought right now of like NLCS or bust with what 140 games to play. You're like, oh, that's kind of stupid. So there has to be a good amount. Like last year when they went on that massive run in the last 2 months of the season and they got to like 93 wins. Then you're thinking, okay, yeah, NLCS, that's what you're all hoping for. And what you're really hoping for is obviously World Series. And there was that thought, like, this is the team to do it. And then guess what happened? Massive disappointment
100%.
Because of how they lost. 13-3, you're so early on in your season. While it is a fantastic start, could not have drawn it up any better. It's a dream start for this Padres team. Dream start for fans. Like, amazing, right? It is still way too early to be like NLCS or bust.
I agree with that. And then to this point, we'll get to these supers in a moment. If you're here, subscribe. Over 400 of you are here live right now. Please subscribe. You're on content for baseball and Padres fans. If you're here on replay, please subscribe. And thank you for the super chats and the super thanks. It's a great point. You could go 110-52 and you could absolutely lose in the postseason. There is no doubt about that. Good teams lose. Great teams lose. There's no doubt that that's a factor. Right. In it as well. All right, let's get to some of these supers. I don't really want to start with the first super of the night being about the Dodgers, but thank you, HJ, for the first super chat of the night. No, the Dodgers losing some games to the Cubs is not reason. Again, I've seen some of that too, Jim. Like, what has happened to the Dodgers? Nothing. It's been 10% of a season. Nothing has happened to anyone. You can't make any judgment off 10% of a season, including on the LA Dodgers, in my opinion. And to rule, I'm telling you, I've seen it, Jim, on social media. I know you've been tagged on some of this stuff. I saw someone reply to me, or I was tagged in something. It's like, I've seen enough now. I can rule out this isn't the same Dodger team. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, that's utter insanity to say something like that on April 13th.
It is. And maybe if you wanted to go from the other direction, like counterpoint, you could say, obviously, it's probably maybe ridiculous to say on April 13th, the Padres are going to win like 100+ games. They 100%. Are pacing, obviously, but I just look at this team and yeah, we can forecast all we want. And yeah, we do that. And we can have expectations, which we do for sure. But just like talking about the first 16 games of this season, they have been the best team in baseball. Like, there's no question about that. They are doing everything right. Their bullpen, the back end of their bullpen has been incredible. They've had some incredible pitching performances, and they're getting timely hitting at the right time. They're not, hitting the cover off the baseball. They're not, blasting home runs every other inning. But that first inning just was like a mini avalanche. And, it started with Luis Arraez, and then it trickled down, and then Jose Iglesias gets the big hit, and then Xander can't come through, and you have Oscar Gonzalez getting the hit there, and you're just like moving the line, and they're without Jackson Merrill, and they're without Jake Cronenworth. Brandon Lockridge gets injured late in that game, and I will say that I know fans like this is what good teams do, but what good teams do is they beat teams that they're supposed to beat. And that is what the Padres did this entire series. And they beat the shit out of the Rockies. Like, made them look like a minor league team.
One of the biggest actual moments of the game was Oscar Gonzalez was 0-2 in a scoreless game. That started the 4-run rally. And think about the 4-run rally. Gonzalez, Gurriel, Iglesias. That's all you need to know. And that's very 2024 reminiscent of the San Diego Padres. Before we get to these next supers, to your point on the best team in baseball, 13-3 best record, 283 batting average best in baseball, 268 ERA, somehow second in baseball, 6 shutouts. They're the only team with 4+. They have 6. They have 4 players with 15+ hits. in 16 games, which means they have really, again, to your point, they haven't necessarily hit for the power that other teams have shown, but they have been well-rounded 1 through 9. The fact that they're hitting 283 and there's teams in baseball still hitting sub 200 16 days into the season is all you really need to know about this team right now. Enzo, thank you. For the super, he says, what people don't understand is the Rockies usually beat our butt no matter the talent discrepancy. This is a good series win for the Padres, in my opinion. I mean, we all agree. There is no other way to look at this. I don't care if the Rockies came in tied with the worst record in baseball at 3-9. That's not relevant to me. It's just, to your point, not just beating bad teams, Jim, sweeping bad teams. Like, that's not something the Padres necessarily did a year ago until the second half, at least.
Dude, they're just imposing their will. They feel like a team, like a veteran team that's been together for a long time, and they really haven't. There's so many new faces on this team. You know, how many times have you watched the Dodgers in the past and been like, well, they're going to find a way to win this game? They just impose their will.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's no doubt in any Dodgers fan's mind that's like, they're going to mess this up. Now, Padres history would say that, you know, there's still potential for them to Padre and mess things up for sure. But like, 16 games into this season, they are doing everything right. And every button that Schulte is pressing is the right button. And if you get Dylan Cease to start pitching well here, now you're really cooking. You know, Kyle Hart's pitched better than Dylan Cease this year. Randy Vasquez has pitched better than Dylan Cease this year. Michael King has proven that he is an ace. I don't care that it was the Rockies today. They're still throwing a shutout. It's throwing a shutout in the big leagues. I don't care who you face. It doesn't happen all the time. If the Rockies, if everyone's like, oh, it's just the Rockies, then guess what? Then every pitcher would throw shutouts against the Rockies, but not every pitcher does. So
2 complete games in baseball this year.
Right. Were they both against the Rockies though?
I have no idea, but I don't know. I don't think there's been a complete game shutout other than Michael King.
But that's my point is like, yeah, it's the Rockies. They suck, but don't poo-poo what Michael King did today by saying it's just the Rockies, because if it was, then everybody could do what Michael King did today.
Yeah,
and guess what? Not everybody's doing what he did. Nobody else is doing what Michael King did today. And I don't care it's the Rockies. It was a brilliant performance by him. He was amazing today. He had all of his pitches working. And he was fantastic.
Yeah, exactly. It was a dominant effort. Michael King has proven to be one of the best pitchers in baseball right now. And we'll see if that continues moving forward. He would have been dominant against most major league teams today. I'm not saying he would have gone a complete game shutout, but he would have been dominant against most major league teams. Luke, thank you for the membership in the Super. He says King pitching a complete game shutout to sweep is almost as good as watching the ESPN Ohtani pregame glazing segment to an 0 for 5 plus a Dodger loss. Wow. Yeah. I don't know what to say. Again, to me, I want to avoid any of the Dodger comp, Dodgers lose a series, Dodgers haven't gotten off to a fast start. That to me is also kind of irrelevant right now. I don't necessarily need to compare. We didn't want to make the comparisons in the offseason. I don't feel like we should be making the comparisons as of yet in the season, 16 games in, when the teams are separated by a game. Plus, they'll meet 13 times in the regular season. But here's the thing. 2024 is over. 2024 was a disappointing ending. It's over, though. So 2025 maybe is a new script. We don't know. Maybe the Padres are better than the Dodgers this year. Maybe they're not. Maybe the Dodgers are better than they were last year. Maybe they're not. But it's new. It's a new script. It'll play out. We'll all be privy to it. And we'll see how it plays out. But I'm not yet into the, oh, man, isn't this great? The Dodgers lost the series at home to the Cubs. Everything's great. I mean, it's April 13th. Let's see.
I've kept to my word. I have not paid much attention to the Dodgers, at all, truthfully. Really, the only time I see what's happening with the Dodgers is on my timeline, because MLB Twitter account posts 75 times a day about the Dodgers, and I see other people talking about the Dodgers, but I haven't looked up any of their stats. I haven't seen who's injured. I don't know what Ohtani's doing. You could ask me right now, what's Ohtani, how many home runs Ohtani has this year or whatever. I don't know. I don't even know. Mookie Betts, I have no clue. You know, they lost 16-0 last night. The only reason why I know that is because I saw it on Twitter from somebody, and then MLB Twitter account was talking about Miguel Rojas pitching, and it was like, you guys realize the Dodgers lost 16-0. They're treating it like it was like the greatest thing ever. But other than that, yeah, Ben Verlander's a guy that I see. I'm not paying attention to the Dodgers. I'm not. I'm not. They don't even face the Padres until freaking end of June?
Mid-June.
Yeah. So again, focusing on what the Padres are doing right now is the most important thing. Yes, I obviously know what's happening around in the division, you know, but still, like, I'm not paying attention to any of the Dodger stats or anything and whatnot. And, you know, okay, they got swept at home. It's fine. It's you know, whatever. Dodgers,
did they
though,
swept at home, or did they lose 2 out of 3? I don't even know.
See, that's the thing. I don't even know. I think did they get swept?
I have no idea.
I have no idea there.
It's less to me, Jim, about paying attention, and I respect that. I could care less too right now. It's not to me about you could be paying attention to the Dodgers. To me, the part where I think it's a little short-sighted is be like, oh my gosh, look at the Dodgers. They lost 2 straight to the Cubs.
Oh yeah, they're done. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, it's a little early for that.
Just a little early, guys.
Probably about 6 months. Brando's Modern Life, thank you for the super. He says, players hurt, we win. Management is unsung hero. I'll tell you, man, it's been a good couple of days for like the Jason Haywards of the world, the Yuli Gurriels, the Jose Iglesias, certainly, the Oscar Gonzalez's, who's been called up, right? I mean, it has. It's been a nice series for guys stepping up with guys out like Jake Cronenworth and Jackson Merrill.
Who do you give credit to for the, I guess, dumpster dives players performing well here the last year plus?
That's a great point. Is it the manager? Is it the front office, you're saying?
Is it the culture? Is it the coaching staff with like preparation? Is it just weird luck? What is it to where, you know, for the last year plus now, Preller has dumpster dived to fill out the rest of this roster, and all of these guys have seemingly performed. Like,
you know, it's such a good point. It's like chicken egg stuff. Like, do you go Preller? Like, if you just boiled it down, hear me out, to Preller Schild, and there's so much more than that. Preller has lieutenants, Schild has coaches, right? Mm-hmm. But if you just want to boil it down to Preller Schild, chicken egg stuff, I mean, a year ago, Jim, I would have told you Preller. Now that we're over a year into it and it continues, I want to give the credit to Schild. As in, there's something about in that clubhouse and whatever he's preaching. Yeah, man, he's preaching. I know that. Something about whatever he's selling that people are buying, that I'm kind of shifting my thoughts more to Schilty than Preller after giving Preller all the credit last year. Not to take credit away from Preller, but I'm saying if I had to give credit to one or the two, I just wonder if it is the culture that Schild has established the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, I mean, it could be, but it's still up to the players, you know, get it done.
Got to perform, yeah.
You can be like, you're the greatest player ever, and you got to go perform. I think this organization last year found something, and it clicked. Mm-hmm. And I think it's like a trickle-down effect, and it all connects. And I do think, you know, Victor Rodriguez, I think he has a big part in this. I think you can tell how much the players respect Victor and the whole entire, you know, staff, like, you know, the hitting staff, I guess they call it. I don't even know.
Yeah.
Because the other night when Merrill and Machado are getting their silver sluggers, Manny had an amazing idea to have Victor Rodriguez and all the hitting coaches present them the awards. To me, that tells me that those guys are very important and that something has clicked, and it took Preller like literally a decade to find the right pieces on the coaching staff that had a vision of what they wanted to get accomplished and have it be translated on the field and executed. And I think that is where this has come from. You see these guys that are the, you know, dumpster dive players going on the field and performing, because I do think that the coaching staff, and to your point, Mike Schilt, are a big reason why that you're seeing maybe, journeymen or guys that nobody wanted or older players coming in and performing.
Yeah, I've always thought it was foolish to discount the importance of coaching. And you go both
Anybody
ways
could do
here.
it.
Right, exactly. And here's the thing. At the end of the day, we're all going to say if Manny Machado makes $350 million, it's on him to perform, right? We're going to say it's Manny Machado. You got to perform. But at the end of the day, like anything in life, there's so much more that goes into it than any one single thing. And I do think that it's a disservice to say that the staff is inconsequential. Like once a player signs a contract, like, oh, Jake Cronenworth got the $80 million contract. He's got to perform. I mean, we say it. I say it all the time. Manny Machado makes $350 million. He has to perform. I'm just saying there's so many factors that go into it. And I do think coaching is a part of it that's probably undersold. That people don't understand enough of like the intricacies and nuances of it, that like the expectation is like regardless of who's on the coaching staff, regardless of who's on the team, regardless of the team's record, you just got to go out and produce. I think there's so much more that goes into it than that. Let's get back to it in a moment. We're going to get to these supers. I see them rolling in. Thank you for your support of this channel. Please subscribe. We are 27 subscribers away from 8,300. We would love to get to 8,300 subscribers on this channel tonight with your help. So please subscribe if you haven't done it. And please support our title sponsor, The Wrap Up Show, if you haven't. Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance. He's been with us for 4 years, and he is a great insurance agent. You can take that from us. I've had a homeowner's, earthquake, and life insurance policy with Mark for years, and you can as well. And what separates Mark from most insurance agents is he's got great service and communication. I had to file a claim a couple of years ago. We had a flood in my place, and he took care of everything and saved us so much time and money. He can do the same for you and your family. So he is a terrific insurance agent, a lifelong Padres fan, a native San Diegan. He was in Chicago a week ago for that Padres Cubs series. He does auto insurance as well. So before you renew your current policy, get in contact with Mark. He's going to save you money. And then if you ever need him, he's going to be there for you, and he's going to save you more money and more time. So please support the channel by supporting Mark Nimitz by clicking the link in the description down below.
Yeah, all his information is on that ticker there on the bottom of the screen. You see his email address right there. That's the best way to reach him. mnimitz@farmersagent.com. When you reach out to Mark, let him know that John and Jim from the Wrap Up Show sent you.
Let's get to some of these supers. Again, please subscribe here on Content for Padres and baseball fans. And thank you for the super chats. Click the $ below the chat box like HBBBV did. He says 2023 Pods would have crumbled with these injuries. 2025 Padres don't let a bad game roll to the next day. There's a problem, they fix it. And then he says Soto was problem. Yeah, I don't know if the Padres in 2023, Jim, would have crumbled after 16 games. But they wouldn't have been 13-3 because they weren't 13-3. So this is a historically good start for the Padres. It just is. That's factual.
Historically good. Is it the best start? It's the best start in franchise history, right?
Yeah, I know that in '98 they were 12-3. Were they 13-3? They may have been, actually. I'm not sure. I can look. So I will. I think they might have been, actually. I'm gonna look.
Yeah, would the '98 team start?
I'm gonna tell you right now. They started with a record of 14-3.
Okay, so they're on the heels of the best start in franchise history.
Yep, they need another win to tie it.
And then they need 2 more wins without losing any games to set it.
It's correct, because they were 14-4. Yeah, correct. 2 more wins to set it.
Yeah, so they're just playing great. I mean, Cubs come to town. They just lost one of their starting pitchers for the year for Tommy John.
Yeah,
I don't know if he was scheduled to pitch against the Padres or not. What is the probables in this series, real quick?
Take a look at that.
You got Jameson
Tyon.
Yeah. You got
first Dylan Cease.
Dylan Cease, that's good. We like that. Hopefully Dylan can have a bounce back, clean shaven.
Right.
You got Shota and Managa on Tuesday. That's gonna be tough. And then you got Matt Boyd as well. So you got 2 lefties in this series. They face a lefty today, obviously, and it's nice to see Jose Iglesias going to get some consistent playing time against lefties too, which is nice. And I don't know if he would have if Jake was healthy. Maybe he would have. Maybe he wouldn't have. I don't know. And he stepped up for sure. Guy that hit 400 last year against lefties.
So yeah, he did. He hit 400.
Yeah. But anyway, I just it can't be overstated. For me at least, enjoy this right now, Padres fans. Enjoy it because it is a long, long season. Like I said, this team can lose 10 straight. I don't expect that to happen, but enjoy this. And I guess, ride the wave, right? Of this season potentially. And yeah, everything they're doing, I'm loving, starting pitching, bullpen, timely hitting. Yeah,
I
man,
mean,
it's just great. I know
10
10
and
0
0 at
home. Like
home. I mean,
what?
10 and 0. I mean, historically good 27 Yankee type teams don't start 10 and 0 at home. I mean, 10 and 0 is 1/8 of their home games. That's 12.5% of their home games they played. They're 10 and 0. And they've struggled at home in recent years with good teams in first halves of seasons. Sunriser, thank you for the super. He says, Rockies seem to have our numbers. So this series is awesome to see. On to the Cubs. Hope we get 2 of 3. That's how I look at the Cubs series. I say win the series. If they do more than that and the magical carpet ride of undefeated home success continues, amazing. I would absolutely sign up for 2 of 3 after losing 2 of 3 in Chicago. I would take 2 of 3 right now against the Cubs, especially with Shota Imanaga, one of those pitchers. And you also mentioned 2 lefties among the 3 that they're going to throw. So I'm taking 2 of 3, even though that ends the undefeated streak. But I'm pretty confident they're not going to go 81 and 0 at home. So I would take a series win against the Cubs.
100%. I said this on Friday because you got out to such a good start. All you're looking for now really is just like winning series. It's crazy because in seasons past, recent seasons past, they're 500. It's like, all right, they need to have like a 5, 6, 7 game winning streak.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? They open their season with a 7-game win streak. So they literally open the season with a winning streak that a lot of teams and a lot of fans are looking for in the season to propel them and give them some wiggle room and give them some breathing room. The Padres started with it. So
right.
They started with it. All you're asking is just win series, and I'm with you. Even if they lose tomorrow night, then they win Tuesday and Wednesday. That's a freaking
awesome.
It's amazing. It's awesome. Now that's going to be tough because Imanaga and Boyd are tough pitchers, and we saw how they fared against them in Chicago. But for me, like win series, and I guarantee you guys, that's exactly the Padres' thought process right now with Mike Schilt. Now it's obviously early, so it's like they're not pressed to go in being like, we have to win this series. We have to win the series. They can lose this series and they're still fine. Right. But as the season progresses, because they got out to such a hot start, you created such wiggle room and all you're just looking for is like, just win the series. And so then a random loss on a Tuesday night is not going to kill you.
No, I mean, nothing right. Any one loss right now is going to, like you
or
said,
even 2 games in a row. You're just like, okay, win a series. Okay, regroup, win the series. It's fine.
I mean, they have 3 losses. Those losses are back-to-back in Chicago when it was 40 degrees, including the Cubs home opener. And then the Dylan Cease game against the A's in Sacramento was just like, it's the A's in Sacramento. I'm not going to read too much into that at all. And shoot, he's shaved since then, to your point. Mauricio, thank you for the super chat. He says, King's zigzag pitch, the sinker, is so cool. He does throw a dominant sinker, and he does get tons of ground balls on it. Electric fastball, sinker, cutter, right? I mean, to be as good as he is as a starter, you have to have 3+ pitches, which is what he has right now. This guy's turned into a top handful pitcher in the sport when he's pitching like this to start this season.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be tough to keep. If they keep him, unbelievable. But right now, just enjoy it because, again, I mean, you got one of the better pitchers in baseball right now pitching for the San Diego Padres. It's Michael King.
Thank God they kept King and Cease.
God.
Could you imagine? I mean, and it's not like they weren't trying to move them. They were talking about them. They were talking to other teams. Now, obviously, they had such high asking prices that every team just was like, yeah, no, we're not doing that. But if I guarantee you, Preller got something he liked, though, one of those players would have been moved.
Yeah, could have. Yeah.
You know, if some team made a Godfather deal, guess what? King's not here, or Cease isn't here, and they're not out to a 13-3 start. And I just appreciate that they didn't pull the trigger. We were harping on it all offseason. Go for it. Keep these guys. Do not trade them. Like, you have an opportunity to do something special, right? We were obviously still worried about the depth of the team and still kind of are. But look, I'm so glad they kept King, and I'm so glad they kept Cease, and they didn't, go into panic mode, knowing that they're probably not going to re-sign those two. So let's try to get as much as we possibly can right now, reset, go at it again next year. Like, no, F that. You come off a 93-win season, and you have these guys still on your roster under team control, you go for it. And they did. And it's rewarded them so far with this amazing hot start.
We're 23 subscribers away from 8,300. If you are here live or on replay, please subscribe. We're going to get there hopefully tonight with your help. So please subscribe. Let's celebrate that together. I mean, this is kind of on cue from No Mama. You just said what I agree with, which is it appears to be unlikely to extend a pitcher like Michael King or Dylan Cease in season. Certainly Cease. I could absolutely argue King as well. He says, do y'all think they extend Michael King? I mean, I don't even know what that costs. I would give him all the credit in the world if they could pull that off somehow before he reaches free agency in the midst of this walk year for Michael King. But I don't even know what that costs at this point for Michael King. I don't know if they have the money. I would love to see it. I'm not holding my breath.
I don't know what it looks like either. I really don't. Like, my first thought is 5 for 150. 5 145.
I was just thinking 5 for 150 or 6 for 180.
Yeah, between 28 and 32 million a year, something around there.
Yeah.
I see Gene in the chat says 5 for 120. Yeah, I don't know, man.
What were pitching deals? Hasn't there been a deal or two done, Jim, either late in spring training or early in the season?
Yeah, Garrett Crochet.
Yeah, what was the Crochet deal?
Was it 170?
They bought out arbitration, didn't they?
They did. King doesn't have any years of arbitration left, so that's the thing.
Yeah, which means that in theory, it's more expensive. So they just signed him to a 6 for 170.
Okay.
Now Crochet's younger.
Right.
He's 25. Yeah, I think you're in that 170 plus range, truthfully. That's my guess.
And if he has a season like he did last year, then absolutely. A guy that can give you 30 plus starts, 200 innings, 200 plus strikeouts. His arm is relatively young, even though he's in his 30s. Not a lot of innings on that arm. He just became a starter last year.
Right.
He's already had a dominant postseason performance in his career. So I truthfully don't know. But also, like I said, to start the season, I'm not really like thinking about it after every start. I'm like, oh God, this just made it that much harder to sign Michael King. Like, yeah, I joke on Twitter. I'm like, extend Michael King, but I'm not sitting here being like, I can't believe he had another great start. That means he's going to cost so much more money. Like, no, I'm enjoying it. And I hope Michael King goes out there, honestly, and wins 20 games and wins the Cy Young.
That'd be nice.
I want the price to go through the roof for Michael King, because then that means he has an amazing season for the Padres this year.
That's a good point. Richard, appreciate your super chat. He says the past 3 managers didn't know how to communicate. Melvin interviews look like hostage videos. Mike has managed the clubhouse well and on the field. He's done a good job. No matter what you think about anyone else, it's hard to discredit Mike Schilt, either in St. Louis or San Diego. His overall win-loss record is getting to be awfully impressive as a major league manager overall. Yeah. We read it a week ago, and it's only better over the last week. So I don't know what it is. I think communication probably is a pretty big trait for Mike Schilt. I think it's probably a big reason why he's had this type of success, and hopefully continues, and hopefully he's here a half decade which is a very long time for major league managers today, specifically with the Padres. But he's in year 2. Hopefully he's here for the next handful of years.
Yeah, Andy, like the last 3 managers, Andy Green, first-time
4
manager.
seasons.
He was he was literally a sacrificial lamb for those Padres teams. They just needed somebody as the manager. And good for Andy. Trace Tingler. Wait,
who?
Is that his name?
No,
wait,
Jace.
Jace. I called him Trace.
Was he?
I forgot about Jace Tingler. I'm such an idiot. I'm like, that's not sound. I'm like, oh man, Jace Tingler. Yeah, the players hated him. Not hated him, but like they just didn't respect him.
Rob Melvin.
Rob Melvin, yeah. Bob Melvin, I'm not gonna say a bad thing about Bob. Like it didn't work here, but he also couldn't get along with Preller, and everywhere else Bob Melvin's gone. Basically, it's worked. In Oakland, Seattle, Giants are off to a good start this season as well. His relationship with AJ was the reason why it didn't work here. And even when they had a bad relationship, he still went to the NLCS. So yeah, but Schilt, the thing with Schilt though that was different than all the other 3 managers is he has the respect of the players and he's on the same page as AJ. The other 3 managers couldn't get both. And that's the big difference so far with Schulte.
He gets along with everyone. By and large, it's really amazing. I mean, he's got good communication skills. He does, and maybe it's why he's gotten to this point in his career where he's managed multiple teams and has a chance to manage a long time still for the Padres. We're going to get back to this conversation again. If you're here, please subscribe. We do want to remind you about our friends at Mova Globes. All right, if you are a baseball fan, if you've enjoyed this Padres 13-3 start, if you're looking for a great gift idea for a baseball fan, pick one of these puppies up. This is a great company based in San Diego. This technology, which is spinning globes with artificial or natural light, there are no cords, there are no wires, comes with a base as well. This technology was invented in Cardiff by the Sea in North County, right here in San Diego. If you want 10% off, click the link in the description down below. You can get 10% off one of these by clicking the link in the description down below and using promo code PWS10. That's PWS10. Great gift idea. These are officially licensed. You see the MLB logo, all 30 teams, no matter what team. It's a great gift idea for the baseball fan, not just the Padre fan, but the baseball fan in your life. Great for a home or work office. Use promo code PWS10, PWS10. Take 10% off one of these Mova Globes.
Yeah, use our promo code PODSWRAP. PADS WRAP.
No,
get
that's
a Mova
wrong.
Globe today.
PWS10.
Oh, what did I say? Oh, PODSWRAP. I'm tired today. My bad. That's underdog. PWS10 is our Mova Globe.
Use promo code Trace Tingler.
Yeah, use Trace Tingler and PEDSWRAP.
You idiot.
An idiot. By the way, shout out to Rich McGuire. He might be in the chat tonight. Looked it up. Jackson Merrill, bobblehead. Boom, look at this thing.
Oh, yeah. Forget about the Mova Globe read. Forget about that.
We just did the Mova Globe read. What do you want me to do?
Yeah, I want you to do the promo code correctly.
PWS10. Trace.
But no, do the shout out.
Look at this. Jackson Merrill bobblehead. Sweet. That will be a mainstay on the shelf for sure behind me. I also like too, cool little thing in his back pocket here. He's got his like sliding like mitt. It's pretty cool.
Sliding glove?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got the shin guard here. He's got the eye black right there. He's got the tattoo right there. Definitely looks like Jackson Merrill. I like it. Very quality bobblehead. Thank you, Rich.
That was good.
You know
that
what?
was very good. I think Rich is here.
Okay.
Brando's Modern Life. Thank you for the super. He says Pods win World Series. I'll buy Mova Globe.
Okay.
All right. Cool. We'll mark this. So when they win the World Series, the first thing we're going to say is Brando, buy a Mova Globe.
We're not even going to talk about the World Series.
Yeah, we're not even going to mention it.
Yeah. Nope.
That first show, we're only going to talk about Mova Globes.
Yep, pretty much.
And their promo code, which Jim will get wrong. What else happened here at this game today or this weekend?
I had banana bread pudding again.
You had banana bread pudding. I said it too.
banana bread pudding. It's elite. Had it the first weekend there. Jones is like that's like for everything on the planet. But yeah, that banana bread pudding's undefeated.
Oh, you know what else is undefeated? Well, the Padres at home.
That
But
too.
Toddy homered in the 2 games after the shoulder, which was Friday and Saturday. We had a Friday wrap-up show, but he also homered yesterday for the Padres. He also
Two-handed on the bat, follow through.
He also made that great play to end the game yesterday in right.
Yeah.
So you had that from Tatis, who, he's hitting 365 with a 1048 OPS. Pretty nice start to the year for Fernando Tatis Jr., the leadoff hitter.
Pretty good. And you know that Luis Rise is going to continue to hit, even though his average is down to what, like 260
He's been
something?
like a little bit of a up and down.
It's fine. Not a big problem. Manny's power numbers will get there. You know, he is a power hitter, so he will get his 30 home runs. Anybody that tells you, never mind. Bogarts, okay. What else? So I saw in the chat here from Jeff, and he worries about Lockridge going down with his hammy injury, who takes his spot if worst case scenario, Connor Joe Tirso. Good question. In my opinion, not the biggest concern. Probably, I'm going to say Tirso, just because an outfielder left-handed, or not left-handed bat, but he's left-handed bat, Tirso Ornelas, but Brandon Lockridge is a righty. Yeah, what do you think? It's not.
I think that. Well, look at it this way: that
Jackson Merrill could return in 3 days. So it's like, don't worry about
Merrill
it.
could come off after 3 games.
Yeah.
So you're getting closer to the point where, hopefully it's not a big concern. But you don't want to see him go down. That's the one thing that has been an impediment for them so far this year. Honestly, that's the one thing I don't know if it's held them back, but it can hold them back. Merrill, Cronenworth, Darvish, if there is Lockridge, that's a good amount of injuries in a couple of weeks. So I don't know what to say there, but it could be a factor moving forward. You can't, if you're the walking wounded, you're not going to continue to play at this clip, obviously.
No, but it's also a good thing that they have dealt with these injuries early on. Jake's going to be out for the foreseeable future. Jackson Merrill's missed the last week. Toddy missed, pretty much a game and a half there.
Yep.
And they're still winning games. It just makes the injuries less impactful, and it gives these players, the necessary time to recover without any thought of rushing back to the field. It's like, oh, we're winning without these guys. Perfect scenario. Literally perfect scenario.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a small sample size, but they're still getting it done. And, it's just great to see. And if they take 2 or 3 from the Cubs this week, starting tomorrow, and if Jackson Merrill doesn't play in that series, great.
I'm trying to. Rich McGuire just put something in the chat that got me thinking. He just put something, you can pull it up if you find it, about he doesn't hit it. Petco talking about a rise. So I'm trying to find it. Because
Does he not hit it, Petco?
Some truth. He's hit 254 in his career at Petco. How crazy is that? Listen to this. His career OPS at Petco is 599.
Ooh.
That's weird.
How many games? How many at bats?
A ton. 73 games.
Oh.
Yeah. In 73 games, Luis Ariz had 254 at Petco Park. Like, he just, by comparison, like, for example, when he played with the Marlins in 102 games at Marlins Park, he hit 349 at Marlins Park. Or at Target Field with the Twins, when he was with the Twins, he hit 325.
Wow.
And here he's hit 254 at home. Weird.
Baseball players. There are some parks, for whatever reason, they just don't hit well in. And then there's other parks where it's like they just see it so well, and they're just
batter's eye,
everything. Yeah, and they've changed Petco up. They made sure the batter's eye was friendly to everybody. They tried they had they had the moss behind there a couple years ago, and everyone hated that. And they took that thing right away. So Yeah, some players
It
just
is so true, by the way. He is defended so, like, perfectly. Like, he'll smack a ball to left. The freaking left fielder is always there. Shallow left by the line. The
dude,
dude,
I know.
he hits the ball 100 miles an hour. Dude standing right there. It
Yep,
happens all the time right here. Like Iron Swan. I mean,
I know.
I don't know. Am I concerned? No. Do I think Luis Ariz likely hits 300 this year? Yeah, I probably do. I think he likely hits 300 based on his track record. Will he win a batting title? I have no idea, but 16 games, he's hitting 258 overall. But it is interesting that in his career at Petco Park, it was 254 coming into today. He was 1 for 5. So 253, 254 lifetime.
And my guess is when he goes on the road, you're going to start seeing those numbers go up.
Agreed.
I mean, look what he
I'll
did
tell
in
you what,
Chicago.
man.
It was just like, whoa.
I'll tell you, man, Bogey's had a nice month, to start his year. Just solid, consistent, performing, contributing. Just solid. Again, is it anything that jumps off the page? I don't think it is. I don't. I mean, it's not this crazy power or all these RBIs, but he's consistently been on base, and his OPS is, sitting at 778. He's hit 304. That's a decent start for Bogey.
Absolutely. It's better than the alternative. Do I think he's going to have like these crazy number years?
Nah,
No.
probably not.
But I think, that's just who Bogarts is now. You're never going to see him have a year where he hits, what was it here? Yeah, you're never going to see a 2019 year from Xander ever again, where he hit 33 home runs, 117 RBI. He hit 309 with a 939 OPS.
Yeah, it's not happening.
Never will that happen again. But could you see a, what he did in 2023, hopefully spread out over the course of a season instead of just like a month and a half where he was hot, which was, 19 home runs, 285 with a 790 OPS. Like, yeah, maybe more, you can get some more impactful hits here and there. Or could you see a 2022 year where not, power, 15 home runs, 73 RBI, but the biggest thing with him is he had 307 with an 833 OPS.
I think he could certainly hit 300. I just don't know if he'll do it with any amount of slug. I think he could hit 300.
He's slugging 393 this year. His career is 450.
Yeah, there's a good example. I just don't see a lot of power with him, but I do see a guy that can hit, like batting average wise. I just don't know if he's going to hit for power as a San Diego Padre. In fact, by not knowing, I'd be surprised if he hit for power as a San Diego Padre. I love this question from John Fields. Thank you, man, for the super. We're 22 subscribers away from 8,300. If you wouldn't mind subscribing, guys, year-round content for Padres and baseball fans. He says, what's going to be the AAV on Ariz? And yeah, I have no idea. What was Kevin saying this offseason?
Like 14 or 15.
Yeah, like 5 for 75.
Something like that. My guess is if you just look at Luis Ariz and his career numbers at certain ballparks, probably my guess is like whatever ballpark he does well in, look out for those teams if they're willing to spend. I mean, I don't think he's returning to San Diego, or I just don't. But yeah, I don't know what his career numbers are. It's like, give me the place where he has the best numbers at.
I mean, it's either Miami or Target Field, I think. Well, I mean, there's all kinds of places he's hit. Like, I'll give you an example. He's hit, okay, in 6 games at Oracle, he's hit 478. That's pretty good. In 8 games at Great American Ballpark, he's hit 516. That's decent.
Where's Great American Ballpark? Cincinnati?
In Cincinnati, yeah. In 10 games at Chase Field, he's hit 400. So, I mean, his hitting numbers are gaudy everywhere.
I could see the Reds giving him 5 for 75.
How about the Nationals? He's hit 528 in 8 games at Nationals Park.
Okay, yeah, I could see him going somewhere like that there.
The worst park he's hit in his career is the Trop. No, Yankee Stadium, 214 in 10 games.
Yeah, he's not going to Yankee Stadium.
He's hit 185 at Dodger Stadium in his career.
Ooh, well, anyway, it's a long ways from now. Hopefully, he can, have a good year for the Padres.
Yeah, hopefully. All right, we do want to remind our viewers about our friends over at Underdog Fantasy with Underdog. There you go. That takes up the whole screen. You can win
Good
up to
job.
1,000 times your money in a single night with promo code PODSWRAP. PADSWRAP. Get a free gimme pick with promo code PODSWRAP. That's PADSWRAP. Plus a 50% deposit match. They'll give you that free gimme pick. All you have to do is pair it with a higher or lower. Let's say you think Manny Machado is going to hit higher than a half home run tomorrow. Pair that with the free gimme pick and you can win. Make more pick'ems, win more. You can win 10, 20, 50, 100, 1,000 times your money in a single night. We've had some huge hits with our viewers here on the wrap-up show. Use promo code PODSWRAP. That's PADSWRAP. Play along across all sports. NBA playoffs will kick off this week. Of course, Major League Baseball all season long, NFL, college football, whatever it is. You can play it with Underdog Fantasy. Couldn't be simpler, couldn't be easier. Make sure to use promo code PODSWRAP. Click that link in the description down below, PADSWRAP. Get a free gimme pick and a free 50% deposit match up to $1,000 with Underdog Fantasy.
Yeah, this is where you use promo code PODSWRAP, PADSWRAP. Download the Underdog Fantasy app, scan the QR code above my head if you're like watching us on a television, not on your phone, and download Underdog Fantasy right now. But the thing is, when you're downloading Underdog Fantasy, you have to use our promo code when you sign up. PODSWRAP, PADSWRAP. It's a non-negotiable when you download the Underdog Fantasy app, and then away you go. Use our promo code.
Away you go. Click that link or scan the QR code. Yes, use the promo code PODSWRAP, PADSWRAP. All right, you can join us tomorrow on John and Jim, talking more about the Padres, getting you ready for the Cubs series. 2 p.m. is the start for John and Jim on the iHeartRadio app, San Diego Sports 760, also on YouTube. And we'll have Kevin Acey, our Padres insider from the UT, joining us tomorrow as well. We'll probably have a guest from Chicago as well. We'll have a lot for you tomorrow on John and Jim. Also, support our partners. Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance. If you have an insurance need, our title sponsor, Underdog. Click the link in the description down below. Use promo code PODSWRAP. That's PADSWRAP. And again, Mova Globes. If you want one, use promo code PWS10. Get 10% off. All right. And we have another wrap-up show for you, of course, tomorrow night following game one of this Padres-Cubs series. And it will be a better show if we hit 8,300 subscribers by the start of that wrap-up show. Hamul, thank you. You know what? They're just kind of up there. We thank them every day.
They're along for the ride on the wrap-up show.
They're along for the ride.
Yes.
The Players' Place. Get there.
Endless dining options.
Endless.
5 nights a week.
UFC 314 last night.
It was great. Easter's coming up. Easter brunch at Prime Rib. Or Prime Cut, sorry. 20 Gwin Sports
Smashing
Pub.
Easter eggs. Monday Night Live smashing Easter eggs every Monday in April. Chance to win 25 grand.
The Players' Place.
Okay, Hammerhead, Golf Talk. This was great theater, man. You could ask Kristen. I watched this entire thing somehow. This was unbelievable theater. This was unbelievable television. I'll tell you what, Jim Nantz, man, I don't know how he does that. He's freaking in the cabin and he's doing all this beautiful, I don't even know what he said. How he keeps it together, I'd be freaking bawling if I was Jim Nantz. Rory was certainly bawling. I mean, I don't know how Jim Nantz does that. He's incredible.
You know, I want to talk more in depth on the show tomorrow, but that was a moment in time today with Rory getting the career grand slam that we may never see again. We may never see another golfer have a grand slam.
We should, though, right?
I mean, we should.
We could see one in a month, dude. You know who that is? Spieth.
Okay. Oh, that's
and then
right.
You could see one in 2 months. You know who that is?
Who?
Phil Mickelson. Ain't happening, but
not happening. But anyway, my point still stands. Is like in the last 50 years, 25 years. There's been the last 50 years have been 3. Last 25 years been 2.
Was the last Tiger, right?
Last was Tiger, and that was back in 2006, 2005.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Anyway, it was incredible theater. I was glued to it. I mean, like in the suite today, they had the Masters up on the television, and we were watching that while watching the game. It was incredible. I not afraid to say I teared up at the end. I mean, the emotion that Rory showed was an all-timer. A grand slam in golf is when you win the Masters, the US Open, the Open Championship, and the PGA Championship in your career.
I think he's kidding.
Okay, sorry. Anyway, it was incredible theater. I got choked up. I thought that Jim Nance is literally the best there is, and there's the best there was, and he's just amazing.
He's not
He
retiring, is he?
No, not from the he
Okay.
retired from the NCAA Final Four and tournament, but he is keeping
Yeah,
the
but he's still
Masters
doing
gig.
NFL golf.
He's
Yeah.
keeping the Masters gig, and his
I see.
call at the end there, a masterpiece by Rory, and then he's just quiet, and it's 7 uninterrupted minutes of Rory following him from the 18th green all the way up to the clubhouse to hand his scorecard in. It was incredible theater.
What was even more incredible is how this dude like won the event and lost the event
Like
as
4 times
often as
today.
he did. I mean, first of all, on 18 before he won, this first time on 18 today,
Oh my god.
we're sitting
dude.
there. I'm like, dude, slow down. He goes up to the ball and putts it. I'm like, dude, chill.
I can't believe he missed that
And
putt.
well, he took no time preparing for it.
I
He
can't
just
believe he
walked
missed
up to
that
the ball
putt.
and hit it. I'm like, what are you doing?
He was so nervous. He
He
probably
was
could.
so nervous.
He just
And
was
then
like, I gotta putt it.
And then I was like, I was praying that he wouldn't miss it again at 18, that shorter putt, and somehow he didn't. And now I feel like he's going to win another 10 majors because after that, it's like you never have any pressure again, dude. You're set. You are
Oh.
set.
Well, that's what happened with Tiger, and then he got injured in 09. And then it was like, oh shit. So if you just hope Rory doesn't get injured, because literally that monkey, that giant sized green jacket monkey, is gone.
Yeah, it's gone, man. They said at wherever the PGA Championship is, Quail Hollow, he's won 4 times in the last 9 years, including last year. So he'll be the favorite there in a month.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So I mean, he could all of a sudden rack up. He's got 5 majors. He could get that number to 10 in his career because
oh man,
there's nothing holding him back at this point. The only thing holding him back was winning the Masters. Now that you've done that, what can't you do?
I can't wait to see the ratings because
it's going to be ridiculous.
You had a dream of Rory and Bryson in the final pairing. The back and forth of Sunday, just the ups and downs of everything that happened. Rory doubles on the Open, then Amen Corner comes around and Bryson completely, implodes on himself. And then Rory at 13, that chip, he's laying up and then he chips it in the creek and you're like, oh my God.
Doing, dude?
And then he freaking misses that 5-footer at 18 for the Masters and the career Grand Slam. And you're just like, what is happening? Justin Rose is on fire. Dude, it was incredible. It was incredible theater. I loved every second of it.
I think the mark for a great Masters Sunday, by the way, is 10 million because that it's been below, it's been above. I mean, if this thing doesn't hit 15 million, there's something wrong. It felt like everyone in the world was watching. So I'm thinking it's going to be one of the biggest numbers in the last decade. My guess is since like 2019 Tiger. It should be the biggest number since 2019 Tiger, would be my guess.
You know how many people I saw at Petco Park watching it on their phones today? Like at least 15 just in my section.
Yeah, 100%. It's the Masters. I mean, yeah, it's the Masters.
Sunday at the Masters.
Exactly. All right. What do the Padres have coming up, Jim?
Well, John, glad you asked. So